Here we go. We are back for a recap of Atlanta and Philadelphia. ATL squeaking one out in the final seconds, 22-21. What were your thoughts on this ball game, Jer?
My worst nightmare. My Eagles losing to the Dirty Birds that looked so bad in week one. I guess Cousins just had to get his legs back underneath them. I don't know. Our defense looked so good holding them to field goals, and then we just kind of got tired. It's really no excuse. Well, Saquon, come on. You had the game. All you had to do was catch that ball.
Yeah, man. I thought he had it for sure. And Jalen Hurts rushed for a really good game as well. He had 85 yards on the ground. And Bijan Robinson did his thing for 97, but couple of big plays to Darnell Mooney. I thought that was the difference. And obviously, you noticed the absence of A.J. Brown.
Of course. It seemed like you can't cover Mooney. Like, what's going on here? Every time he's open, like,
yeah, he's a big play guy, but yeah, I couldn't believe it. And then it just seemed like Atlanta just turned into a super team there on the last drive. I was like, what? Is this prevent D, or is this just Atlanta saving all their good plays? Or I don't know, just because they just marched down there and it was like nothing. So not a good sign from the Philadelphia defense. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, they did get worn down. But I mean, 8 sacks on Kirk Cousins was great to see. And Devontae Smith had a great game. It was just, I think that A.J. Brown injury really hurt, and Atlanta took advantage. Bates had a good game for them with 7 solo tackles. Ellis had a good game for them, and yeah, man, it's one of those games where you don't bury a team while you can. In the NFL, we know what happens. They sneak back up, and they bite you, and that was disappointing. So that was the end of week 2, and now we get a chance to look ahead to week 3. But still, ATL, now they're 1-1. They'll be hosting KC next week, I believe, on Sunday or Monday night. And then our Eagles are going into the undefeated mighty Saints. I believe the Saints scored on their first 7 drives last game against Dallas, and I think they scored on their first 6 drives against Carolina. So it's I mean, quite impressive. They got Clint Kubiak calling the plays in New Orleans. I don't know what your thoughts on him are, but I mean, wow,
impressive. new kid on the block. I guess he's showing everyone something, and then after a while, everyone knows what you're doing. Fangio's gonna have to, he's gonna have to pick the boys up. They're gonna have to have a smooth game plan for this one. It's not looking good going in. Oh, well, at least our division is horrible. 1 and 2 would be so bad.
Yeah, I mean, like, Eagles, they're missing Bradbury. A.J. Brown was obviously out, and there's a chance Taysom Hill might be out for New Orleans, so that might help. Lattimore is questionable as well for New Orleans, so some big games to look ahead to there, and quite entertaining game here on Monday night, and we have 2 Monday night games next week, and yeah, just looking ahead, I see some news in the NFL. We had an injury to Cooper Kupp. He's out 4 weeks approximately. Another injury for the Rams. They're sinking hard. Bad luck for them. Deebo Samuel is out a few weeks, calf strain, nothing new. He's perpetually hurt. But SF now has him and McCaffrey out, which not a great thing for them, obviously.
Well, Ayuk's going to earn that contract now, isn't he?
He's going to earn every cent of it.
he's going to show them, hey, we can win with just me. And I think he's going to pull it off. Maybe not score all the touchdowns, but next man up too, right? Purcell or who's that?
Jennings.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
He's still hurt. He got shot. Remember?
A shot or something? Yeah.
But they have Juwan Jennings.
Terrible.
Juwan Jennings, yeah, a robbery attempt. Juwan Jennings will probably step up for SF in that number 2 role. And then as well, another injury. Yes, Cooper's out and Deebo, and then one other one I wanted to discuss. Pacheco, yeah, from KC. That's like 4 to 6 weeks, fibula. They do have Samaje Perine, and I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire will come off the IR eventually, but I think that'll definitely slow them down. Maybe they'll have to pass more, but yeah, a lot of injury news coming on the wire, and it's definitely a lot of things to look out for. The lines are moving as we speak. Just going to take a peek at some of these lines out there and get some of your thoughts on them. I will pop up the screen right now. Here we go. Okay, we're looking at Steelers laying 2 to the Chargers. What are your initial thoughts on that line?
I think it's going to be really close, low-scoring game, maybe a 13-10. Pittsburgh can't score, and I think Pittsburgh's defense is going to hold the Chargers to less points than they're used to.
Yeah.
That being
I'm leaning
said,
Chargers in that game.
I still think, maybe Chargers 13-10. I still think it'll be close.
Yeah, the over-under is like 35, so I can see something like that. How about the Colts, who looked like shit last week? They'll be hosting the Bears, who didn't look that great, but they're somewhat competitive. DeForest Buckner is doubtful for Indianapolis, their defensive tackle. And they're only laying 1.5, 2. I already teased up the Bears, but this is a game I think it's probably a stay away for most people.
If the Bears can get their running game going, like Green Bay just basically beat Indianapolis running at them, if they can get that running game going, get the play action going. I think I like the Bears here.
Yeah,
give me the
That's
Bears.
A big if. Their O-line's just been pretty shoddy so far, right? So I don't know if we can totally trust them, but moving along, Texans will be laying 2.5 to the Vikings. Both teams are 2-0. Jefferson should play. I think Mixon should play for the Texans, barring anything crazy. Addison is questionable as well for the Vikings, and Scruggs is questionable for the Texans, the offensive lineman. What were you thinking on this game? Texans in Minnesota.
Somebody's gotta get out of here 3-0. And for some reason, I'm thinking it's going to be the Minnesota Vikings. I think Jefferson's going to play. I think that defense is playing good up to now. And Houston, as you've told me many times, don't take a road favorite. Road favorites are poison.
Well, in general, but I mean, it's kind of a fishy that it's only 2.5. So
give me Minnesota.
Well. Yeah. All right, and here comes the Brownies hosting the Giants. It's 6.5 on some books. I don't know how people are going to put money on the Giants this week. For me, I would need at least 10 points to bet on the Giants, unless it's a divisional game, right? Like I mean, Cleveland, they haven't been world beaters so far, but I don't see Giants scoring 20 points in that game. You know what I mean? So if they're competitive, it's going to have to be like a 16-10 type game. Moving along, Eagles will be in New Orleans. Right now, they're showing it at Pick'em. We don't know what that line will be. I'm going to guess New Orleans -1, but we can talk about that on another date.
I'm just going to announce it right now. I'm putting money on New Orleans. If New
Hmm.
Orleans wins, I win money. If Philadelphia wins, I'll be happy. So done,
Either way,
done and
either way,
done.
either way, you're laughing. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it because
Yeah, it's the
you're in a
Don
win-win
Taylor.
situation.
It's the Don Taylor bet. It's famous.
Yeah, bet against your team, and then either way, you're going to be happy one way or the other. But I'm
Because I
sure you'd
will
rather
be
lose that
happy
bet and
if we
have them
beat
win.
New
But
Orleans. After the way they played, I will be
yeah.
ecstatic if we beat New Orleans. So, yeah.
Oh, look at this. Line just
Oh,
popped up, -1.5 for New Orleans on our friends from FanDuel. So
okay.
anyone who wants the Eagles right now can go and get 1.5 on FanDuel. I'm sure
Nice.
that line will bounce around. And moving along to Denver in Tampa, the line is creeping up to 7 for Tampa, who's 2-0, looking really good. Injury wise, Vita Vea is looking like he's going to be out. Their nose tackle. Winfield still questionable for them, and for Denver, they lost their tackle, McGinley, and they looked not the greatest against Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh's defense will make you look that way, I think. And they were pretty competitive against Seattle in Week 1, who looks really good as well. So,
Divisional
uh,
game, though, remember, right? These guys, even if
mhm,
Denver's kind of a new look, like they kind of know each other, right? And it's always going to be a closer game in the divisional side. So
mhm.
I'm leaning Bucks. Yeah, I think they're going to smoke them. I think the Bucks will score at least 4 times, and Denver won't get much. So
See, I'm leaning Denver. I think they're going to keep it close. They're going to make it ugly, and they're going to muck it up. And I see like a 27-21 type final here. Tampa
okay,
taking care of biz. Maybe 21-17 type game.
I don't
Not
see the
not
Bucks
exactly
giving
a
up
pretty
more than
game.
14. No more than
Well,
14.
I mean, they haven't really um like they didn't outgain Detroit last game. They just let Detroit kind of face plant. So I like Denver to keep it close. They only lost to 6 to Seattle, and they only lost to Pittsburgh by 7. So I like them to keep it close. Moving along, Green Bay be going into Tennessee. Mr. Mayo, um, Will Levis leads the NFL in turnovers with 5. They're laying 3, 2.5 on some books. What are you thinking about this game?
You know, I don't, I don't think that Green Bay is going to be fooling anyone after that game.
No.
All they could really do is run the ball. Maybe they're working on some other plays with Malik Willis. It is a revenge game in
Hmm.
some shape or form. Titans gave up Willis. Oh, come back.
Hmm.
Oh, this is what you gave up.
Hmm.
And the Titans they're going to be fighting hard. 0-3, you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
They're at home. They can't let down their hometown fan. I'm going with the
No.
Titans.
Yeah. That's what I'm leaning. I'm leaning hopefully -2.5. Let's move along to the 1 o'clock slot on the West Coast, 4 o'clock on the East Coast. I know this game's got your attention. It is Carolina with Andy Red Rocket Dalton starting, laying
The
five and a
Red Rifle?
half. Sorry, I should say Red Rifle. I said Red Rocket, Red Rifle, Red Rocket Rifle. You know what I mean. So he's starting. Bryce Young hits the pine. Carolina just more injuries galore. They lost their cornerback Jackson, and looking pretty hopeless. Raiders look pretty healthy, and they're laying 5.5. I know you got your eyes on the Raiders. What were you thinking? Raiders under a touchdown's
And
kind of.
I know the Las Vegas Raiders can't really score, but I like my man Minshew, especially
Hmm.
against these horrible putrid Panthers. Until they,
Yes.
new quarterback. Oh, okay, maybe a little spark. I just don't see it. I see Vegas scoring at least 4 times and Carolina maybe getting a couple of field goals or something. Yeah, so definitely Las Vegas Raiders.
All right, I hear you. Okay, let's move along to one of the longest trips in the NFL, Miami, traveling up to the Pacific Northwest to visit Seattle. The line has dropped to 5.5 on some books. It was 6.5 originally. Um, I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to be fancying Miami plus the points. Kenneth Walker is questionable for Seattle. Skylar Thompson is going to probably start. Armstead is questionable for Miami. I don't know. I think that's a tough one to pick because I don't know. I could just see Miami hanging and making a game of it, but I could also see Seattle just blowing the doors off of them. So I think it's a stay away game. But what were you thinking? Miami and Seattle.
Are these weapons gonna elevate Skylar Thompson into okay status? I guess we'll see.
Pull
If the
Malik
line
Willis.
gives them, if the line gives them enough time, and the Dolphins got a great run game, but they need to use their weapon. They need to use Jalen Waddle. They need to use Tariq Hill. They need to use their guys, right? If you can't, if you can't get it going, with the weapons that he has around. That being said, no faith yet. Give me the Seahawks to go 3-0.
All right. And let's move along to a pretty interesting game here. Detroit Lions coming in as a 2.5 to 3 point favorite, depending on what book, in the Arizona Cardinals, who are surprisingly competitive and pretty high over under in that game, 52.5. I believe that's the highest of the week. So the books are expecting a shootout. Your thoughts on this game?
It's like how bad is the Rams defense? That's what's the question you got to ask yourself here because Buffalo's defense, Buffalo's defense did great. They let up a bunch of points, but in the end they got the win. I think Buffalo has a good defense, and Arizona, they did great. They overpowered them at times. So going up against the Lions, which have a great defense, but had a horrible showing. Only 20 points, I guess not as horrible. Until someone can slow down these Arizona Cardinals, I'm taking them. Give me home dog. Give me the home dog. Yeah.
Arizona looks appealing. Not sure which Detroit team will show up there. There's some stat I heard that Detroit plays like their first 11 games indoors or in like a controlled environment, which is pretty crazy to think of. Interesting game there. I'm not sure which way I'm leaning right now, but this is probably the game of the week. Both teams coming off really disappointing losses. Ravens -1 in Dallas. What were you thinking?
Playoff atmosphere game in week 3. Like, who thought that we would already be here? No one thought the Ravens would be 0-2. No one thought New Orleans would score the 4th most points in the first 2 games in NFL history, or tied for 4th, or whatever it is. Whoever wins this game probably saves their playoff chances by a very large percentage.
Yeah, definitely. I think Baltimore's got, I don't know who they have next week, but they have Cincy following that. So they got some tough matchups. So it's almost a must win. But a lot of times when people say, it's a must win, you got to win this game, the teams usually don't end up winning that game. So slightly into Dallas, but got to see what happens during the week on that game.
I'll take Baltimore to bounce back and study that film from the New Orleans game and beat Dallas.
Moving on to the last game, the 1 of 25 slot for us here. SF going into LA to beat up, or I should say to face the beat up Rams. It's 7.5. Both teams are injured though. Deebo Samuel out for SF, McCaffrey out for SF, Cooper Kupp out for the Rams. Obviously, Puka's out for the Rams. They also lost, I believe, a guard, Jonah Jackson, with a shoulder injury, and just infirmary there. I don't know. 7.5 points is a lot in a division game. I would lean Rams here, but I don't know. It's setting up to be a bounce back game for SF. What are you thinking?
Yeah, divisional games are always tight, but the Rams look horrible right now until they can show me that they're going to turn it around somehow. Give me SF. Yeah, I think they'll even win by 10.
Yeah, it's tough. Both teams are undermanned, so it's just tough to really handicap that one. But we're going to move along to the Sunday night game. KC is visiting Atlanta. KC's got their injuries with Pacheco out, Hollywood Brown out for the year, and Atlanta has their cornerback questionable, Hamilton. Right now, the line's saying 4.5. I would lean KC, but we're going to have to see what happens with that game as to how the line moves. What are you thinking?
Yeah, because Atlanta beat one of the best teams in the league, the Philadelphia Eagles. So
They did.
they're going to be like, oh, they're for real. Let's take them, right? And then once that spread goes down a little bit, then you jump on it when it's like 2.5. Mahomes, 3 or under,
Yeah,
baby. Can't lose.
that would be nice. I mean, I don't see the books giving that out, but pretty sharp spread, I would say right now. Let's move on to the two Monday night games. The 0-2 Jacksonville Jaguars. They are coming into Buffalo. The 2-0 Bills are laying 5.5. I would lean Jaguars plus the points here. Obviously, the hunger factor is there. But Bills are really rested. I think they played Thursday night, and now they're going to get like 11 days off. So what were you thinking is going to happen here in Buffalo?
The Bills are rolling. I don't see them losing to the Jaguars. That being said, they are 0-2, so they're going to have some urgency, so they might keep it close.
I believe Jacksonville beat Buffalo last year in London. Was it? I think it was a London game, or
Was that the famous 9-3 game, or was that a couple years ago?
I think that might have been a couple of years ago, but it's something like
Okay.
it was an ugly game. It was shitty weather, shitty field, but Jacksonville seems to play Buffalo pretty well, so I would lean 5.5 there for them. And the final game, 1-1 Commanders coming in to face the 0-2 Bengals. Bengals laying 8. Still don't know if T. Higgins will play. I think that's a huge, huge question mark for Cincinnati. If he's playing, I like their chances, obviously. Commanders are pretty healthy. I've already teased down Cincy to -2, and I've teased down 49ers to 1.5. So I thought that was a pretty good bet there. What are you thinking on this game?
Must win for the Bengals, 100%.
Definitely.
You can't go 0-3. Washington already won one. They're in a weak division.
Mm-hmm.
If Washington has a good year, they could win the division 9-8. Like it's crazy. Like it's not looking good right now.
Yeah.
So that being said, I don't think there's going to be too much urgency compared to on the Bengals side, and that's why the spread is so huge.
Yeah.
And I know Cincinnati burned me in week 1, but I don't think they're going to do it again. Yeah, Cincinnati wins at least by 10 there.
Yeah, I'm leaning that way.
-8.
But I teased them now -2, thinking I thought that's if they win by a field goal, that's good for me. Same thing in that 49ers Rams game. So Yeah, that's a nice action-packed schedule. We just previewed, gave our leans on, and did some injury rundowns. I think we've got an idea of who we'll be taking for our Wednesday gold, silver, and bronze picks. I have a feeling your gold pick will be starting with an L, but spoiler, no spoiler, no spoilers here.
Actually, I'm giving a spoiler right now. It's
Mhm.
not going to be LV. The gold
Okay,
pick is
okay,
not going to be LV.
okay, fair enough. Give the viewers and listeners a heads up. Okay, so anything else that you like to add for this thrilling game on Monday night? Any other final thoughts as we wrap up? Okay.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I had fun with this recap. We'd like to thank everyone, as usual, for viewing. Please like, please subscribe to the channel, and we will be back next time on SNS Pigskin Picks. Later.
Peace.